All right, everyone, it's time for another exciting week of trading, and I got some blistering technicals, so I hope you're all limbered up and ready to go for this week. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education, and you know what they say in Hades, if you can't take the heat, good. All right, the pre-market, we're about 8 minutes away from market open. SPY, QQQ, IWM, all cooking. We'll talk about each one of those, and then also some others out there, Bitcoin, Nvidia, Tesla. We'll talk about those. Then I have one bonus stock at the end to tell you just a little bit about teasing about my next video. If you guys want to see my commentary on that, that's already available over at the Discord. You can find that link down in the description for the Patreon. Click that, sign up, jump over to the Discord. You can check that out along with my buys and sells. In the meantime, let's get right into it. So how did we close the week last week? With some high wicks, but yet we closed above the moving average on SPY. This morning, we are opening. It looks like if we open about where we're at right now, we are up above that moving average. We do want to take over that 5-period and 13-period EMA to turn this thing around. The RSI below 50 on Friday, but darn near it. So this could be a little bit of a turnaround spot for us. Maybe we got a little bit of corrective energy going into that, repricing in of things, and now we're going to start seeing that next run. We're going to have to watch and see. If we lose the 50 SMA and EMA, then this bounce turns back around, and this could be something that sells off further for us. We want to be on the lookout in the near term for that to happen, and big tech, I think, is going to have a lot to do with it. Also, the Fed reporting this week. So over to QQQ, we are still down below the 50 days on this. We had indecision, and now it looks like we're opening up above that. This green 5-period, we definitely want to break up above that. The big thing, though, is the 50-day EMA and SMA. Want to watch for any rejection off those. Those values, by the way, are right at about 472. So if we're able to strongly cross back up above 472, that's a very good and bullish thing that we can see a little bit more energy going throughout August, which, mind you, that's coming up this week. We start to hit August. Next week is our first full trading week in August. We also need to be careful. I talked about in my last video of coming up, hitting our heads and heading back down this way. If we get rejected off of that, maybe earnings don't go great. Maybe the Fed says something to scare us. That is a possibility that we have to be prepared for. I think more than likely we're going to have a little bit of levity coming for us. But like I said, big tech earnings are really going to decide that. They're going to be a coin flip for us for what they have to say. And I think that's going to determine what August looks like for us. So moving from there, from QQQ into IWM. Now this one looks a little bit silly from what you see. RSI above 50, which is bullish, but falling. We'll see where today's price action takes us. You can see we have resistance 224 to 226. Pre-market hours, we're right about in the middle of that, almost at 225. If we do break above that, we can break up to 234. There is contention that you can see in this most recent candle that we got. And if we go down to the hourly chart, you can actually see a much clearer technical indication that what we have is an ascending triangle pattern. You can see the resistance up here where we keep on getting that rejection from 224 to 226. We tried to go up above it. There's a smaller rising wedge pattern that's in there. We need to see where that drops us out to. It could bring us back to these 50-hour moving averages that we have. We'll see, but that's still within the ascending triangle. So we could still bounce around in here and really squeeze in on between the bulls and the bears, and that pressure should push us up possibly to 234. If we can break 226, I think that we have that in our sights coming for us in the near future. If we fail to break 224 to 226, if we fall out through the bottom of that, we could be heading back down towards 220-ish or the high 2-teens. So that's IWM for you for this week. So for Bitcoin, I would put a line on here for you right at about 70,000. And that is one that if we are able to solidly break over 70,000, I think that we're room to 72 and we have the momentum to do it. We need to watch and see if that's what we get. Notice the trend line that I have on here drawn for you. We've actually already broken above that since I last recorded. So on Saturday, we were able to break above it. We got indecision. We got a long bottom tail on the next day. Lots of bullish movement today, likely coming from what we had from Kathy Wood and Tom Lee. And then also the Republican side, former President Trump, which is also in the elections race, as you probably know, for 2024, that if Republicans take it, that could be bullish for crypto if they're coming out and showing that sort of endorsement for crypto. And I think in the near term, we can take some of that excitement. I think it's going to push us up to at least 72. It could be something that allows us to retake that all-time high or take on that all-time high of just under 74,000 per BTC. So currently bullish on what we're looking for per BTC in this little bit of an almost bullish channel that we have going on here. That is a thing that as long as we stay in that, we could bounce around a little bit. But you can see that we have a little bit of confluence here at about 72,000. And then we could retrace a little bit, bounce around. If we hold 70, that could still give us a good platform to jump from to try and take on that all-time high. Maybe this is the run. Maybe August is that time when we start to see that come to fruition, that we start to see that next all-time high coming our way for Bitcoin. For Tesla, looking at the 4-hour chart, we have an ascending triangle pattern here, possibly pushing us up to 235. We got to break resistance at about 225. If we fail to break that and fall down instead, 210 down to 205 is what we're looking at. Nvidia apparently was in a rising wedge pattern. Now, mind you, as we move this trend line here, we can get a different interpretation from that, but that's something that we have fallen out of. That's something that has already happened. Well, where does that put us? Well, we found support at 106, which was historic support and a 50% Fibonacci level, and got a nice strong bounce off of that one. Cashed in at 97% on one of my options that took 43 minutes to double my money. That was pretty incredible and a lot of fun, and I look forward to more of it. We need to break about 115 to 118 to have further upside. If we do, it can take us up to about 121 to 125 based on the 50% and 61.8% Fibonacci retracement from the most recent peak to trough that we've had. And I'll draw that on there for you quickly, and I'll zoom in so that you can see it. And then, guys, I'll keep this video nice and short for you. I'm going to tell you about that bonus stock that I have. You can see here as I have this drawn on quickly for you. Let me bring that down just a little bit, and it looks like this has to come up just a little bit. There we go. There's the 121 popping out of there, and the 125 it looks like for the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. And then something that can be very disruptive to those technicals that we have is the big tech earnings. When Meta speaks, when Amazon speaks, when Microsoft speak, when they all come out and speak, possibly even Apple speaking in there, influencing the entire market with this large market cap, talks about further demand for AI, products, services, hardware, you name it, that can all have Nvidia at the intersection of it. And so that can have massive impacts, major volatility happening. I don't know that we stay near its current price that we're seeing right now to either side on this. I think it's going to be a highly volatile stock that we see. If we see it down in the two figures, the further it gets pushed down on negative sentiment for a rock star company like this one, then that's something I think sets up massive buying opportunities. And if we see this thing skyrocket to new all-time highs, well, that's a very risk-on environment that we have. So we need to be on the lookout for this. There's a reason why it sits about in the middle from where it's at right now to where it could go, the all-time high being around $140 per share, and that would be about $27 up from the last close that we have. 27 down from that is 96, which is about where this thing could fall, and so it's no reason why it has landed where it's at so far. All right, that bonus stock. I'm going to just put up the daily chart for right now. This is Nike stock, currently sitting at about 72.50. The market has just opened as I speak. It's 9:30, and so this drop right here, not a lot of volatility in it. The rising RSI going, that is not the most exciting thing, but I do want to keep this video short as the market's open, and I want to get out there and trade, so I need to get this video up for you guys so you can see it. And in my next video, which I'll put out to you hopefully in a couple hours here, we'll be on Nike giving a lot of those details. Like I said, if you want to see those ahead of time, it is available at the Discord, available through the Patreon. That link is down in the description. You can also see my buys and sells and how I'm playing this market, and you can talk to me and my community members as well. I also posted this over at the Stock Squad, so if you're part of that with Stock Mo, Larry Jones, and then also Stocks with Josh, Keenan Grace. I have a channel over there as well where I've also shared those technicals. It's a wonderful place to be. You guys can also check that out. Let me know what you think down in the comments of this video. You can say thank you. You can tell me what you think about the indices. You can tell me what you think is coming for August, what's coming up to the election by end of year. I would absolutely love to hear your take on things and be able to interact with you at that level. And if I said something you like about this video, go ahead and put that like out there. I have YouTube memberships that I'm going to be dropping this week as well. So look for those if you want to look for another way that you can support this channel and keep me able to keep on coming back and putting the time in that I do to bring these technicals to you. Thank you guys very much. I really do appreciate it. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.